Hey, what's going on guys? Garden Shed here and welcome! So before we get into the motorcycling video today, I want to sit down and explain the route on a map before we hit the road so you have some concept of where we are and where we're going. But before we do that, just to say, if you haven't already asked a question for 1,000 subscriber Q&A, there's a link in the description. Go to that video, drop me a question and I'll produce the video in the next couple of weeks answering everyone's questions. So I've decided to come out with a new series which is going to be called Great Rides, and the reason for that is with current coronavirus etc, we're not allowed to stay in hotels. That may change by the time this video comes out. I don't have a clue, no one knows what's around the horizon. Campsites are shut etc, so it's a way of exploring bits all around the country, and there's some fantastic roads and some fantastic scenery, so I think it's a really good idea just to help people get out on their bikes, enjoy things a little bit more. So the first route is actually coming from the Bikers Britain book, which is my motorcycling bible, and this is my very well thumbed copy. So it's called the Rutland TT, but Rutland itself is one of the smallest counties in the UK, and you can see how small it is. So the red line obviously is our route. The grey line going around here is actually the border of Rutland. So Caldecott is where Rutland, Leicestershire and this Northamptonshire meet. So it's very small, so we're sort of dipping in and out of Rutland. There is only a small part of the route that is in Rutland, which is just before Uppingham down to Caldecott. And as we go up towards Essendine, then we come out of it and into, I think that's Lincolnshire. So the route starts in Melton, Mowbray. Now it is really confusing because I'm trying to keep an eye on the camera and my finger. And if we go south, little directional arrow, to Market Harborough, up to Uppingham, down to Caldecott, across over near Stamford. So we come along the side of Rutland Water here, which is a great space for a picnic. And then we head up to Great Castleton. Now personally, for me, having recorded this bit after doing the route, if you're on a sports bike, I'll probably avoid that bit because it's quite bumpy. Instead, I'll carry on following the A6121 up to the outskirts of Bourne and then come back on the A151. Much smoother roads, twistier, and I actually prefer it to this bit, but if you don't mind little country back lanes, then that's quite fun. Then go Corby Glen to the outskirts of Grantham, down there, cross back over the A1 to Melton Mowbray, and there is an average speed camera zone roughly from Saxbury to Melton Mowbray, so please just be careful. Let's get on the road and we'll have a look into it. So today you join me in Melton at the BP garage just down from Wilton Park. I wanted to stop in Wilton Park, but then I remembered you have to pay for parking now, and they've installed CCTV cameras. So yeah, the start is here in Melton Mowbray. Easily connectable. So what I've done is you've got BP there, Wilton Park back there. I'll put the start location of the petrol station. Signs for Market Harborough. And it's about 100 miles all in all. So not too far. The book I found it in, which is Bikers Britain, for anyone that's interested. I've done a few routes out there in the past. I'll put a link to the playlist in the description of the video. Good reason it's stopped there at Wilton is there's a little cafe that does sandwiches and cake and stuff and hot drinks. There's a petrol station across the road, and there's always parking. I think Sunday's now the only day they don't charge, which is hence why I sort of did a rolling start to the video. It would be difficult to put a 100-mile route in Rutland itself, bearing in mind it's only 17 miles from top to bottom at its widest point and about 16 side to side. I may have got those two muddled around. But smack bang in the centre of England. To get to Melton you can use the A1, the A14's not that far away. There's so many connecting roads bringing you to this area. Oh please, 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 with these videos, and I have said it before, if you're riding the route, watch your speed in villages, because the more people complain, I know Great Dolby's got a big problem with this because there's hills in and out of it, the more that the residents complain, the more speed cameras, camera patrols, etc. they put out, which, yeah, you have great sweeping bends, straight bits, and amazing views across the county. It's a bit weird, this road, so the latter bit of it
is speed restricted, but this is the twistier, more fun bit. So obviously Melton Mowbray, home of the pork pie, there's loads of food. And cheese as well. Stilton's made in Melton, and there are, I think 4 dairies that could produce Stilton, or cheeseries, or whatever they're called. I think they're still dairies, aren't they? This is what Beck's 88 refers to, or used to refer to, as the roller coaster road, because it just goes up and down and twisty. And every time you go on the up, you get some brilliant views. It's amazing. I love it when you see a road and it just twists, turns, up and down. And for the really nice set of corners, I'm going to be stuck behind a Renault Clio. Brilliant. Nothing you can do about that. The roads are really busy at the moment. Do you reckon if I just cut the footage of me riding a Triumph Tiger around here, anyone would notice? I'm not overtaking on double whites, it's not worth it. Out of my way, old man. Yeah, that section through there, some really nice flowing bends. So this is the bit that they routinely post camera vans on and drop it down to 50 because the road opens up a lot more. So we're heading towards Market Harborough, which is a Leicestershire market town for the king. For the Battle of Naseby, he was based in Market Harborough. It's a lovely little town. We don't actually quite go to it. We go on sort of a ring road around the edge of it. This sun's come out to play this afternoon. I think it's the last time we're going to have sun for quite a few days. So after this we're going to have a short slog along the Harborough bypass, and then we start drifting back over towards Rutland Way, and some more really interesting roads. So not very fast. So you want to go on the A427 to Corby on the Harbour roundabout, and then just here left you want to take the B664 to Uppingham. That sign's a little bit covered up, but it is literally 100 metres off the roundabout. We basically follow this road, the B664, all the way to Medburn, which is a lovely little Leicestershire village. Lovely old stone buildings. You'll see it when we get there. So this road's really popular amongst bikers, but unfortunately the novelty slightly wore off for me in the fact that I used to drive this road every day for 8 years. Personally, I prefer anti-clockwise. I think the roads are better. It's really odd. So the Melton to Harborough road, which we've just been along, is much better going from Melton towards Harborough than it is going Harborough to Melton. Second gear corner there. Now, the River Welland was just under the bridge that we just crossed over, and you can see it where the fence lies. It sort of weaves around there. Now, when it rains heavily, there's a lot of flooding around here because it's quite flat, but also with Market Harborough there used to be problems in town with flooding, and they built a lot on the floodplains, etc, etc. So they designed Harborough to drain as fast as it could do into the River Welland by concreting over natural obstacles in the water, so to get the water out of Harborough. What it means now is, and they've realised this and they're trying to undo it all, is it floods the Welland Valley because there's so much water coming out of Harborough at its pace. Proper oldie woldy village. There's B&Bs here, good pub, with a big on view of the little stream that runs through it. Obviously pub not open just yet, but really pretty. So after the roller coaster of hills, we now have a series of beautiful turns and amazing views. You want to be careful of this corner. It's off camber. A lot of gravel. There's a lot of tractors that come around there. As you come down the hill, in the distance over there, you can see the Ibrook Reservoir. And the Ibrook was actually one of the testing reservoirs for the dam busters, the practice reservoirs. And the reason for that was you had the valley either side, which was typically a bit like the German valley that they were targeting, and also the features of the dam was built in the same way, exactly the same way, just slightly smaller scale. So it gave them a good idea, practice area to be able to test their bouncing bomb landings. So whenever there's a big anniversary of the dam busters, you get a lovely flyover of some Spitfires and some Lancasters. So here we are. This is actually the first time that we've been in Rutland. This one's exceptionally tight, and you often get cars coming in to head on, trying to cut the corner almost because they misjudge it. So do be careful, try cling to the hedge on that one. It's so nice to have sweeping bends. And now we enter Uppingham. Because Rutland's so small, it actually only has two towns. There's Uppingham and Oakham. So there's a burger van and Sycamore Harley Davidson. If you follow the road further to the A47, there's an amazing burger van called Hungry Hogs. There's lots of independent little coffee shops and things in the centre. Yeah, lovely little town. Right, so we're now on the A6003, following it out to Caldecott. Now, when they cut the hedges, you can see through this S-bend over to the far road. You have really, really good visibility. And then down there's the Ibrook where I mentioned earlier. So we're basically starting to come back on ourselves a little bit as we head towards Caldecott. But if you have a free run, there's a lovely series of bends along here. There we go. There's lots of places to overtake safely on this road, so you don't need to do anything crazy. Right, so now we want to take the road sign posted to Morcott, the B672. Now, regular viewers of the channel will recognise a lot of these roads. A lovely selection of bends along here. Always get the gear wrong in that corner. It's because this one's lovely and tight. So ahead of us now is the Harringworth Seaton Viaduct, depending on what you want to call it. I think Google tends to call it Seaton Viaduct, and most local people call it the Harringworth Viaduct. But it's one of the biggest viaducts in the UK. We're still on the B672, just approaching Morcott. And as you climb this hill, if you look to your right, you can see a spectacular view of the viaduct or the surrounding area. Really, really pretty. Nice old windmill and rail crossing. After a very nice gateway picnic, nice view. See the windmill in the distance and Christmas tree farm. First military, used to be a medical thing, now it's working dogs. They do have a runway out back, and the reason I know that is when I was learning to drive, my brother turned to me and said, "Oh, I know this great disused airfield you can learn to learn to drive a car." So he drove my car up there because I was 16. We were driving up and down this runway and happened to glimpse in the rear view mirror and saw a Harrier jet taking off behind me. And tell you what, that is a terrifying thing to see. They must have radioed military police or whoever, and we were promptly asked to leave, and I've never been back there since. And I can't say it was a particularly terrifying experience, I must admit. So just in here you have Rutland Water. This is on the south shore, the north shore's further over. Hopefully we'll get a bit of a view in it. Largest man-made reservoirs in the UK. I think it might be the largest man-made one. A couple of villages, the village of Normanton was flooded to make way for it. But I think the cycle route, the short version, is about 12 miles around. I don't really know these roads, and I don't really want to go barrelling into a village at 60 miles an hour. What a lovely little road. Now you do want to be careful in this part of the route. I know last year, I don't know if they're still doing it, they were testing stealth speed cameras. And this is, without a shadow of a doubt, my favourite part of the route. Here we go. And this is the reason why they put stealth speed cameras along this road. And this is why, part of the reason why it's so much better to do this route anti-clockwise. Because this road is just more fun that way around. I think it was Woman Wolf Rider that first brought me along this road. We went to... is it York? I've been on the way up to York. Wrong gear there completely. They're starting to get a bit peckish now. You've already done your riding. It's been lots of stops away, but you can just head straight on, head into Grantham, get something to eat, back to Melton, Mowbray, or back out to this roundabout. I think if you go straight down that road, you come to a McDonald's. And here we are at Colsterworth, birthplace of Isaac Newton. The next bit, we basically just follow the road back to Melton. A large part of it is average speed camera. See the Garthorpe point-to-point track down there? Of course, they've restarted horse racing now, haven't they? In some limited capacity. I've never really understood average speed cameras. On roads like this, it's not the people doing the speed limit that are crashing. So why lower it down to 50? Why not leave it at 60? So here we are. Back to Melton. Apparently it's the food capital of the UK. I'm not quite sure about that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope a few of you guys want to go and try it out. But yeah, let me know down below. Thank you very much for watching, and take care.